Hey guys, hoping all is well with everyone. So in this video we're going to be continuing our read-along of the Crime Traveler's Adventure Series Book 1, Brainwashed. Last time we completed Chapter 29, so we'll be starting with Chapter 30 today. Hope you guys are all doing well, and I hope you enjoyed the read today. Chapter 30, A Never-Ending Supply of Curukians. Astrid punched the crosswalk button with the side of her fist, and they waited for the light to change. Travis was the first to spot the boxy black car that had picked him up earlier. The Ch30-31 eased up to the intersection and stopped at a green light. As the doors opened, the newest, freshest Curukians hit the streets. These boys carried bricks, and as they passed a parked car, one of the boys smashed a window. The car alarm screamed into the street, and everyone turned to look. Lucas was impressed. The tactic was a perfect distraction. He knew that if they didn't react quickly, they would be surrounded and would never get to Jackknife. From the left, 6 more Curukians walked down the sidewalk. Behind them, 3 Curukians stood blocking the passage back to the Pompidou Center. Traffic in the street came to a screeching halt. Pedestrians stopped and stared. As the crowd focused on the car alarm, Lucas pushed his sister into the street. Travis and Nalini and Gini quickly followed as they ran through the maze of now stopped cars. Horns blew to move the traffic jam as the new resistance kids hid behind a car. 6 very tall Curukian boys in black uniforms climbed on the stalled cars. They moved in a simultaneous wave as they marched and stomped across the roofs and hoods. A boy with dragon tattoos on his arms and neck knocked the heel of his boot on the windshield of his student driver's car. Then he kicked the sign off the roof advertising the auto school. The hairs on the back of Lucas's neck tingled. Each time he ran into these Curukians, they seemed to be bigger and meaner. The boy pointed at Astrid's head, which was now poking up from behind a tiny smart car. Without moving his eyes, the tall Curukian boy bolted across the cars, hopping from hood to roof. Lucas ran to the smart car, where he came eye to eye with a skinny woman in the passenger seat. As she stared at the Curukians marching toward the car, her white knuckles clutched a fat bottle of Perrier. It was the best tool he had. Lucas rammed his hand through the open window and ripped the water bottle from the woman. It took no time for the tall boy to leap across the line of cars. He moved fast and kept his dark eyes fixed on Astrid. Nalini and Gini scurried around the traffic jam of cars and made it to the other sidewalk. Travis sprang into his jiu-jitsu stance, ready to fight right there in the street, but it would be useless against these boys. They were giants. The tall boy jumped, hurdling an entire car, his legs spinning in midair. At the same time, Lucas backhanded the bottle of Perrier across the smart car's side view mirror. Fizzy water and green glass sprayed across the hood, covering the car with the tiny slippery layer. When the tall Curukian boy landed on the hood, his boots hit the wet, broken glass. In a near-perfect backflip, his body turned under him as he crumpled to the road with a painful thud. The other Curukians gathered round the boy lying in the street, as if waiting for instructions. It seemed that if one fell, the others somehow lost the ability to think for themselves. Lucas glanced down at the boy. Bloody nose and mouth. Probably a concussion. Lucas could tell the boy was breathing and would be fine, but still he felt very bad for tripping him like that. It was a cheap trick, and he didn't like having to use it. Police sirens screamed from all directions. Be-doo, be-doo. A split second later, Nalini and Gini led the others down the sidewalk, past the tourist shops, and through the crowds of people. They tore into the section of town called the Swamp. It was a fitting place to throw someone off their scent, or so Lucas hoped. Chapter 31, Carnival of Animals. The kids sprinted as fast as they could, past the Picasso Museum, past the toy stores, the candy shops, the jewelry delis, and the security cameras. There was no one following them, but they ran away. They ran past 800 years of history in about 8 minutes. They stopped under some scaffolding and caught their breath. Nalini led them through an archway and into the Place des Vogues. And there, Travis and Lucas collapsed on a bench between rows of roses. Astrid plopped down on the ground as Nalini and Gini sat in a patch of grass. The baby crawled around for a second and wiggled her diaper. Then she farted. Still standing, Nalini dropped her head onto her hands. I don't know who's helping and who's not. I don't know how many times I need to say it, said Astrid, but we need to get to the safe house. We're going, Lucas said. What's that? Travis asked, squinting his eyes. Music? This, you mean? Nalini said, jingling the bells for Gini. No, said Travis. Someone was playing music. Violins, flutes, xylophones. Travis stood and peeled back the branches of the bush. Standing around the fountain was a band playing the Carnival of the Animals. My mom would have loved this music, said Astrid longingly. She played that song about 1,000,000 times when I was a kid. We are kids, said Nalini. There was a long pause, as they all seemed to be lulled by the music. Nalini sat in the grass with Gini and let her play with her jewelry. Astrid stretched out on the grass, while Lucas and Travis leaned back on the bench like they were sunbathing. Lucas closed his eyes. The melody made him think that they might actually be too young to do what they needed to do. Hey, Lucas, Astrid said. Yeah? Thanks for coming back to the hostel to get us. You didn't have to do that. Not a problem, he said with his eyes still closed. Hey, Lucas, Astrid said again, her voice soft. Yeah? I think it's great that you got that rappel at the hotel right. Thanks. That might have been the first compliment Astrid had ever given Lucas. There was nothing better than having a sister or brother believe in you. It made Lucas feel great, but somewhere inside, he felt like he still owed Astrid an apology. There was no better time than now. Hey, Astrid, Lucas said. Yeah, she said, sounding a bit like Lucas. I'm sorry about your mom, he said. Yeah, said Astrid. Me too. They were all quiet for a second. It wasn't your fault, Lucas. Our mothers died for a reason. For a secret. My mom didn't just go down to Tierra del Fuego to adopt you and those other 8 kids. There was something bigger going on. Suddenly, Lucas was very awake and refreshed. Enthusiasm for more success poured through him. He hopped up and ran the options through his head. A crazy cast of characters began to populate his brain. Miss Guanero, Magnus, Curukians, but the strongest feeling filled his heart. Lucas announced, We still have to get Jackknife. What about the safe house? Said Astrid. I have to agree with Astrid here, said Nalini. Her Indian accent seemed highlighted. We could use some assistance. Jackknife can't wait, said Lucas. I'm going to Notre Dame, and I'm going to help my friend. I'm not going to allow something bad to happen if I can prevent it. You can come with me, or you can go your own way. Either way is fine by me. Really. Lucas invested what he now thought was precious time waiting for his sister and friends. Travis always seemed to know when to be funny and when to be serious. He looked at the girls. If you were Jackknife in that situation, about to be brainwashed, wouldn't you expect your friends to come help you? Everyone nodded. Travis continued. We might all be kids here, but that doesn't mean we have to sit back and always ask grown-ups for help. At some point, we have to rely on ourselves. I just don't want anyone hurt, said Astrid. Lucas was adamant. At least we will have tried. And I'll stop the video there, ending chapter 31. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video today. And as always, please take good care of yourselves and be safe. And I look forward to seeing you guys next time, where we'll be continuing our read aloud of the Crime Travelers Adventure Series, Book 1, Brainwashed. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and take good care of yourselves.